I'm about to show you $10 worth of groceries in America. Bread and eggs, $4.79 and $4.70 something or another. $10 for bread and eggs. Good job.
I went to do my weekly grocery shopping, and tell me why a diet of rice and beans plus some grocery bags just cost me $80. $80. And I know what y'all are thinking. You must have impulse purchased something. You're right. I did. Brussels sprouts and hummus. How dare I? How dare I? And furthermore, my greatest sin was running out of butter. I should know better than to think little old me, deserve to have olive oil or butter. God forbid I want a fat or an oil involved in my food. Bread? Why was the cheapest loaf of bread $3?
I'm here in the store for the first time in a while, and I'm gonna go check out the egg prices. Every single store I've went to buy eggs has been sold out, so hopefully this store has some. They can't be that high, right? Like, they can't. Egg prices. $50 for this?
I feel like the prices are ridiculous now. It's to the point where it's going to be harder for people to shop because the prices are just insane. Literally, yes, because last week I literally for the same amount of stuff that I bought, I literally paid like maybe $30-40, and now it's like $75 for like 3 bags of groceries. It's like...
Hey besties, welcome back to another deep dive into what's really going on in America right now. Today, we're talking about something that's hitting Americans right in their wallets: tariffs. Yep, a lot of people are just now realizing that tariffs don't just affect businesses and foreign companies. They hit you, the everyday consumer, the hardest. And guess what? Prices are already going up on groceries, makeup, technology, clothing, literally everything. People are freaking out. But if you've been paying attention, you know that this was bound to happen. So let's break it all down. What's happening, why it's happening, and what you can do to survive these rising costs. Buckle up, besties. This is going to be a long one.
Yeah, hi. So I just bought like 5 basic household kind of grocery items. You want to know how much I paid for it? You want to know? Huh? You want to know? You want to know how much I paid for it? Because I bet you don't know how much I paid for it. $47.32 for about 5 items. Like, these insane fucking tariffs haven't even taken place yet, and everyone is barely able to afford groceries. It's just fucking insane. But hey, at least we got a fascist dictator who wears Cheeto dust as bronzer as our president, huh? Go us. Guess we're great, huh?
I'm here in the store for the first time in a while, and I'm gonna go check out the egg prices. Every single store I've went to buy eggs has been sold out, so hopefully this store has some. They can't be that high, right? Like, they can't. Egg prices. $50 for this? $50? $14? What the fuck is in this? Yo! What the fuck happened to the eggs? Are you serious? $10 for this shit? The fuck is in there, gold? The fuck do they put in the eggs now? I gotta be in a different tax bracket to eat breakfast?
This administration is a ridiculous clown car of an administration, but they just did the funniest thing ever. And I don't know if it was on purpose or an accident. And honestly, I'm not even sure which is funnier. Just take a look at this. So Donald Trump unveiled his frankly insane reciprocal tariff idea today, a plan that is imposed on nearly all U.S. trading partners with a 10% baseline on imports from literally every country. Measures that economists think will actually completely decimate the U.S. middle class and push us into a major recession. So if you see me looking thinner in the coming weeks, it's because we're not doing so well. But if I have to suffer, there is one thing that'll sustain me. And that's the fact that Israel is suffering too. The Israeli finance minister signed an order earlier this week to eliminate tariffs on all U.S. imports, and Donald Trump hit them with a 17% tariff anyway. And I don't know if this is an accident or not, but I am living for it. And excuse me for laughing at other people's misery, but I really hope this turns into 2 of the worst men in the world fighting for supremacy in some sort of unwinnable trade war. Israel imports $22 billion worth of goods into the United States, including technology like spyware, cybersecurity services, fintech, the things that are actively being used to spy on U.S. citizens. Oh, it's also their main export, with the tech sector accounting for 20% of their economy and 53% of their total exports. So, I don't know, Donald Trump's tariffs may be evil and might kind of destroy the rest of our lives, but I'm really hoping it fucks up this whole situation. I mean, the least you could do if you're gonna give Israel all of our data is charge them 17% for it.
Okay, besties, let's start with the basics. What are tariffs? They're basically taxes that a government places on imported goods. The idea behind tariffs is to make foreign products more expensive so that people will be encouraged to buy American-made products instead. Sounds simple, right? Well, not really. The problem is that America imports a lot of goods from other countries, especially China. That means if the government adds tariffs to these imported products, companies don't just eat that cost. Nope. They pass it down to you, the consumer. So now, everything from your phone to your favorite snacks to the makeup you use is more expensive than it was just a few months ago. And let's not forget, these companies aren't going to take a loss. They're going to find ways to make up for these extra costs, and that means you're paying more for the same stuff you've always bought. A 10% tariff increase doesn't just mean a 10% price hike. It can be even worse.
These grocery prices in rural Washington.
Make your products in the United States. I don't understand why you have to manufacture them abroad if it's getting so expensive. Literally impossible for the next 10 to 15 years. But let me explain to you what is going on and why we are royally fucked. Because we're all finding out that this is how tariffs work. Use the example of Instant Angel because I actually tried to produce this tube in the United States. Hi, my name's Charlotte Palomino, co-founder of Do, and I worked on the manufacturing side for years. This aluminum tube, I actually found a company that claimed that they made it in the United States. So once I provided the artwork, they said, great, this will be produced in about 3 months. We had our launch date. Joyce had given the tech transfer to our contract manufacturer. We were good to go. 3 months rolls around and we are told by the tube manufacturer that they just can't find anybody in Kentucky to work the lines. Now, as somebody who is industrious and who does not like it when I feel like somebody's withholding information from me, I found somebody on LinkedIn that worked at this company and I made them give me the address in Kentucky and responded to who I was talking to at the time, who was very high up at the company. And I said, if you do not tell me what's going on right now, I am driving to your fine state. That's when they told me the truth. The tubes were coming from China and they were only decorating them in Kentucky. And because they couldn't get it to the price that they quoted us, they couldn't find anybody to work the lines because they were underpaying people. This highlights the very problem of trying to bring all manufacturing back into the United States. These are jobs that you would not be able to pay a livable wage. This isn't to say that you can't pay a livable wage to somebody who is making these products, because now our tubes are sourced from Italy and then our other packaging is sourced from Spain. And so they're able to make a livable wage. There's 2 things that you're forgetting. They have had the infrastructure for decades. We have to build that from scratch, which requires investment. And number 2, they have very strong social safety nets. And so businesses aren't paying for things like healthcare, and there's affordable childcare. Food, healthy foods, and fresh foods are subsidized. Oh, and they also have centers for disease control. Really bad for business when everybody's like coughing and dying. So in order for the United States to get our manufacturing back here, it's going to be requiring billions, if not trillions of dollars of investment from the government. And on top of that, you are going to be footing the bills for companies in the interim. Very little of what you own is only made in one country. Like, even if you look at clothing, even if it's manufactured in the United States, that fabric is likely not. And so I'm just using packaging as an example, but when you look at skincare, there are thousands of different touch points when you have, say, 100 products, which is very common in color cosmetics. You have the packaging, you have the formula, you have the box, which is called the secondary. On est vraiment dans la merde, which is French for we're in the shit. Quand je suis très en colère, je parle en français. When I'm really mad, I speak in French, and I'm mad for us, because we're making problems that don't need to exist, and there are very real problems to solve. Bonne journée, bonsoir.
Give him our is he friends with Jet Ski Brian? He's not.
Donald Trump's tariffs has the stock market in a fucking frenzy right now. It's over there wreaking havoc, okay? It's wreaking absolute havoc. Every country that is on that list that got hit with one of Donald Trump's tariffs, whatever United States business, owned business that is operating in those countries, their sales, their stock is dropping. It's dropping now. So Donald Trump decided to hit China with a 34% tariff, right? He hit Vietnam with a 46% tariff, and he hit Taiwan with a 32% tariff, right? The problem is American-owned companies such as Nike, Vans, North Face, Timberland, Decker, Steve Madden, they're the ones that's taking the hit. They're taking the hit. In this morning's trade alone, Nike stocks dropped 13%. Vietnam is the second largest supplier for UGG and Hoka, which is the parent company of the Decker brand. Their stock, the Decker brand, their stock dropped 15%. 15% this morning. Okay? VF Corp, which is responsible for the brands like North Face, Timberland, Vans, JanSport, yeah, they dropped 20% this morning. I also want to note that we rely here in the United States, we rely heavily on Vietnam for our furniture. 56% of American furniture is outsourced. It's imported. We don't make them here. When I say we about to feel this in every way possible, it's not just in the grocery markets. It's not just in corporate. It's not just in the federal buildings. We gonna feel it in every way. When Kamala Harris told us that these tariffs that Trump was going to impose, that it was going to affect American wallets, y'all should have listened to her.
Now that we know what tariffs are, let's talk about how they're directly impacting you besties. Here's what's happening. Grocery prices are up. You've probably already noticed that food prices have jumped. That's because many of the ingredients in our food come from other countries. Wheat, coffee, produce, you name it. Tariffs make importing these goods more expensive, and grocery stores pass that cost straight to us. Electronics and technology are more expensive. Thinking about upgrading your iPhone? How about buying a new laptop or TV? Good luck. Many of the parts that go into our tech are made in other countries, and these new tariffs mean companies have to charge way more to cover their costs. Beauty and fashion prices are skyrocketing. A lot of makeup, skincare, and clothing is produced overseas, which means tariffs jack up the prices of your favorite brands. Your go-to foundation? Your holy grail moisturizer? Yep, they're getting more expensive. Restaurants are raising prices. If food is more expensive, restaurants have to pay more to stock up on ingredients, which means they have to charge you more. That $12 burger? Now it's $15.
Are grocery prices really going up? Well, Trump wants you to forget about it, but this New Jersey consumer who shops regularly at Walmart said last week she spent $35 and this week, $75. Check it out.
Hey, Kelly, so we're here in Teterboro, Costco on one side, a Walmart right behind me. We've been talking to a lot of people who in many cases are doing their weekly shopping. And the common refrain we've heard is that prices were already going up and they are worried they could go up even more and that the consumer is feeling very stressed. We heard from one woman who even said that the same basket of groceries that she regularly buys has now effectively doubled. Take a listen.
I feel like the prices are ridiculous now. It's to the point where it's going to be harder for people to shop because the prices are just insane. Literally, yes, because last week I like literally for the same amount of stuff that I bought, I literally paid like maybe 30, 40 bucks. And now it's like $75 for like 3 bags of groceries. It's like completely insane.
It's not just big companies that are affected. Small business owners are being hit hard. Many of them rely on imported goods to sell their products. and with higher costs, they have to raise their prices. But guess what? People don't want to pay more, so businesses start losing customers, and some even have to close down. And let's be real, Amazon, Walmart, and Target can survive tariff increases because they have billions of dollars. But your local businesses? Not so much. Here's the part that a lot of people don't realize. Tariffs don't just go away overnight. Once companies adjust their prices, they rarely lower them again. Even if the tariffs are removed later, businesses will keep prices high because people are used to paying more. This means the cost of living will continue to rise, making it even harder for people to afford basic necessities. Rent is already high, gas prices fluctuate, and now everything else is getting expensive too.
I went to do my weekly grocery shopping, and tell me why a diet of rice and beans plus some grocery bags just cost me $80. $80. And I know what y'all are thinking. You must have impulse purchased something. You're right. I did. Brussels sprouts and hummus. How dare I? How dare I? And furthermore, my greatest sin was running out of butter. I should know better than to think little old me, deserve to have olive oil or butter. God forbid I want a fat or an oil involved in my food. Bread? Why was the cheapest loaf of bread $3? As someone who starts every single morning with toast, this is not sustainable. Because I can't go any cheaper than toast in the morning. What's cheaper than toast in the morning? There isn't anything. It was a trick question. Trash bags? I'm about to start throwing my trash into the lawn and burning it anytime there isn't a burn notice. I'm from the olden days, a bygone era, where you could roll a cart down the grocery store, and if you filled it to the absolute brim, you would be lucky to break 100. This basket wasn't even all the way full. I wasn't even tilting, carrying it. No, very confidently. Weak me, just walking perfectly straight with my half-filled basket, thinking this can't break 50. There's no way. This isn't even a week worth of food. I start ringing it up. We hit 50 a quarter of the way through. $80. And for the rest of the week, I'm eating rice, beans, toast. I did get eggs, but in my defense, 30 for $10 in the year of 2025, that's a pretty damn good deal. $10 a paycheck, I can live with that. What I can't live with is $3 for a loaf of bread. Are you fucking kidding me?
Okay, besties, now that we've covered the doom and gloom, let's talk about what you can do to protect yourself from these rising costs. Here are some real solutions. Buy in bulk. If you can, stock up on essentials now before prices get worse. Costco and Sam's Club are your best friends. Cut down on non-essentials. If you're on a budget, now's the time to be extra mindful about where your money is going. Support local businesses, they're struggling the most. So if you can, try to buy from small businesses instead of big corporations. Learn to DIY. Can you make your own coffee at home instead of hitting Starbucks? Can you do your own nails instead of getting them done every 2 weeks? Small changes add up. Stay informed, keep an eye on policies that affect prices so you're never caught off guard. At the end of the day, tariffs sound like a fancy political term, but they're really just another way that the government's decisions affect your wallet. The more tariffs are introduced, the more everything costs, and it's everyday Americans who pay the price. We need to be smart about how we spend, aware of how these policies impact us, and most importantly, we need to be prepared. This is only the beginning, and if you think prices are bad now, just wait. Alright, besties, that's all for today's breakdown. Stay informed, stay smart, and take care of yourselves. And as always, adios, besties.